Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Belia Nasional from Azhar Islamic High School, Bekasi. Today, I would like to present my research about the effect of parenting style to students' learning motivation during the Covid-19 pandemic in Azhar Islamic High School, Bekasi. Okay, now, what is the correlation with Covid-19 pandemic and students' learning motivation? Since the end of 2019, many countries in the world have been suffered by this pandemic. All these countries are implementing various efforts to break the chains of its spread in order to discontinue this pandemic immediately, starting with the quarantine, or in Indonesia, we say PSBB. Everyone suggested strong to stay at home, including students and employees doing their study and work at home. This certainly can increase the interactions between children and parents. The more intense interactions between parents and children during the COVID-19 pandemic will optimize the role of the parenting. According to Hurlock in Toha, suggested that there are three types of parenting styles for children. First is authoritarian parenting. It has strict rules, forces children to imitate parents, and limits children's freedom. Second is democratic parenting. Democratic parenting that recognizes children's abilities, as well as opportunities for children to be independent. Third is permissive parenting. Permissive parenting in which children tend to be free. Children are considered like adults to do whatever they want. So now, what is the meaning of parenting itself and the correlation with students' learning motivation? Sugi Hartono and his friend said parenting is a behavior pattern used to their children. Children will grow up with what their parents say and similar to them. So, every parenting style that is applied will have a big influence on children's daily life, their personality, and also their learning motivation. These views are also supported by Van and William theory. We're moving to motivations. What is motivations? According to Sahrul, learning motivation is a psychological condition that encourages students to study happily and study seriously, so that a concentrated student learning method will be formed. It is hoped the learning outcome will be higher when students' learning motivation is higher. The other opinion, which is similar, was said by Sadirman. The next slide is about the research methodology. First is the aim. The purpose of this research is to determine the type of parenting style that was most significant in increasing the learning motivation of Al-Azhar Islamic High School students during the COVID-19 pandemic. Second one, population and sample. This research was completed by 60 students of grade 11, which taken by simple random sampling. Third is the data collection technique. Researchers used a Google form to distribute the questionnaire. Move to the next section is result and analysis. This research was completed by 29 of respondents are male and 31 others are female. The next one is distribution data of respondents based on parenting style. Parenting style variable by measuring using a parenting style scale by Vidya Stuti based on the adapted Baumrind theory. So, this is the data mapping of questionnaire from 60 respondents with 30 questions. The results shows that 5 students with authoritarian parenting and the others 55 students with democratic parenting. There is no student with permissive parenting. Done with the parenting style distribution data, we move to the next one is descriptive learning motivation data. These respondents are divided by 5 categories: very high, middle, low, and very low. There are 3 students with high learning motivation, 49 in middle, and 8 students have low motivation. The next is learning motivation data and parenting style. This slide will be explained and divided by 3 analyses. So, the first one is authoritarian parenting on students' learning motivation. There are total 5 respondents with 2 middle and 3 low. This proves that students with authoritarian parenting tend to have low learning motivation. It's because parents have strict rules that makes children bored and doesn't motivate themselves to learn at school or even at home. Next is democratic parenting on students' learning motivation. Based on the data, students with democratic parenting who have high learning motivation are 47 in middle and 5 others are low. This shows that students with this type of parenting tend to have greater motivation than authoritarian parenting. It's because children feel comfortable with their parents who don't force anything, so they are motivated by themselves. Move to the last parenting style, permissive parenting style on student learning motivation. None of students with permissive parenting, but if you look to all the research which done by Nur Fadilah Tri and her friend, say the permissive form of parenting for parents was not appropriate to be applied because the impact can be bad for the children, which result in less motivation in the classroom. We come to the conclusion section. Based on the research done, researcher can conclude it by two. So, the first one is based on the total data. There are 5 students with authoritarian parenting that divided by 60% low motivation and 40% medium motivation. 55 students with democratic parenting which divided by 5.5% high motivation, 85.5% medium motivation, and 9% low motivation. The second one is we can conclude that students with democratic parenting have greater motivation to learn than students with authoritarian parenting. I appreciate your time to watch my presentation and thank you for your attention.